I want to talk about the Democrats' two get-out-of-jail-free cards. The Democratic Party has never acknowledged that it is the party of slavery, of segregation, of Jim Crow, of the Ku Klux Klan, of racial terrorism. They have never acknowledged what the progressive scholar Eric Foner says, which is the KKK was for decades, quote, the domestic terrorist arm of the Democratic Party, end quote. They have never acknowledged that it was Democrats, not Republicans, who were the main source of opposition to the civil rights laws in the 60s. They have never acknowledged that more Republicans proportionately voted for those laws than Democrats. They have never acknowledged that if the Democratic Party was the only party in Congress, none of those laws, not the Civil Rights Act of 1964, not the Voting Rights Act of 1965, not the Fair Housing Bill of 1968 would have passed. They acknowledge none of this, and they lie to you about it in your classrooms. You don't know it because they haven't taught it to you. I don't blame you, I blame them. They've acknowledged none of it. But to get out of jail free, when you force them to acknowledge it, they will say, oh, but the party switched sides, driven by tricky Richard Nixon. The Southern strategy, Dinesh, haven't you heard of it? Every reasonable person knows the party switched sides. So I want to look at that for a moment. Did the party switch sides? Let's check it out. Abraham Lincoln, in defining slavery, said the following: slavery can be reduced to a simple slogan. You work, I eat. That's slavery. It's theft. You're stealing another guy's labor. But the key point is that Lincoln said that this is the credo not of the South, but of the Democratic Party in the North and the South. Stealing and confiscating the fruits of somebody else's labor is their thing. And as for Republicans, according to Lincoln, they stand for the opposite. And what's the opposite? In Lincoln's words, the hand that makes the corn has the right to eat the corn. In other words, people have a right to keep the fruits of what they earn. And there we go. Let's fast forward now 150 years, and I ask you, is it not a fact that today, if the Republican Party has a single core principle at the middle of it, it is the idea that the hand that makes the corn has the right to put the corn into its own mouth. That is still what we Republicans believe, which means we are the party of Lincoln right now.